Hello, my name is Victoria, and today I'll be talking about how the Chinampas farming system impacted the Aztecs and their population during the classical era. To start off, what are Chinampas? Well, how about this? Imagine the canals and islands of Venice, except all the islands are now in Tenochtitlan, Mexico, and their small fields covered in flowers and crops all floating on water. As a result, these little islands are also commonly called the floating gardens of the Aztecs. These islands were all man-made and required an extensive amount of resources and labor to build and maintain. So you may wonder, why did the Aztecs come up with this system if not any other? Well, this was because Tenochtitlan was built on swampy ground, which made agriculture difficult, if not impossible, without Chinampas. It's certainly not fun nor possible to plant most crops in wet, muddy land. To overcome this obstacle, the Aztecs drained these swamps into canals and carved out pieces of the now dry lake beds of the basin of Mexico to protrude from these canals. These plots were then filled with mud and vegetation, and as a protective measure against the sun, willow trees were transplanted at the edges to provide shade for the growing crops as well as the farmers who worked the Chinampas. Many crops were farmed in these Chinampas, and although most of them were for consumption, like the most popular, squash, beans, corn, tomatoes, and chilies, commodity crops like flowers were cultivated in the Chinampas as well. The Aztecs were part of a large trading network in Mesoamerica, and because of that, exportable commodities were an important source of revenue that could be sourced from their ingenious agricultural system. The people who oversaw Chinampa horticulture were the specialists, who were experts in the sciences of Chinampa horticulture. Then, laborers were the ones who carried out the orders of the specialists. This went quite smoothly, as the Aztec Empire was a highly stratified empire with clear class distinctions, and any wars and conquests brought along ample human labor to run these farms. Although the setup of the Chinampas was particularly complex, actually working the fields was pretty similar to conventional farming. Crops were planted in their seasons, rotated when needed, and harvested at the harvest time. Because of the efficiency of the Chinampa system, up to 7 harvests were possible for each year, and these crops provided 1/2 to 2/3 of the Aztec food supply. All of these crops that the Chinampa system yielded managed to bring up Aztec population to a soaring peak, as well as many surpluses, and was the reason for the success of the Aztecs as an empire. Without the Chinampa system, agriculture probably wouldn't be possible in the marshy regions of central Mexico at all. Agriculture is what makes big empires possible. The Mongols are exception, of course, and the Aztec Empire wouldn't have been much of an empire without agriculture.